north of Thai Green Village, erection of two one-storey buildings for the purpose of creating 6 social housing bungalows for people over 55. Are you doing mine? Yep. Okay.
Thank you, Chair. So the site is located on the Yorks, to the immediate north of Thai Green Lodge care home. The site's found by the rear gardens of the 2-storey post properties on Primrose Field to the east of the site, with the Thai Green Lodge care home to the south of the site, and Japonica, the dwelling house here to the north, and a lengthy rear garden Thai cottage just to the west of the site on the other side of the Yorks. So the site is located close to the boundary of the Thai Green Conservation Area, but just outside of it. You can see in the insert map to the right on this image. The proposal seeks the erection of 2 one-storey buildings for the purpose of creating 6 social housing bungalows for people over 55. The housing will provide homes for people with more advanced stage that may present physical difficulties and assistance requirements from carers and or family members. All the units will provide level access and room sizes, layouts and circulation spaces to meet the Part M43 of the building regs with regards to wheelchair accessibility. All units would meet minimum floor space standards and provide a satisfactory standard of accommodation for future occupants of the development. In terms of the nearest unit to the site, which would be Japonica, it wouldn't directly face the rear windows of this unit, would be set slightly to the south of it. And the bungalow arrangement would mean that the windows of the new dwellings are isolated to ground floor level and will be screened by the boundary fencing and screen planting between the properties on Primrose Field and the new dwellings. This will ensure a satisfactory level of privacy will be retained for existing occupants as well as the future occupants. The details of the screen planting and the boundary treatments will be conditioned as part of the landscaping scheme. Each unit will be provided with 1 off-street parking space each, which is not considered to be likely to result in unacceptable parking impact and access conditions. Given the narrow width of Yorks itself, it means it's only possible at the moment to park on one side of the Yorks without restricting 2 cars that pass independently in the opposite direction. So the creation of the crossovers for the new dwellings would remove any scope for parking either side in this stretch of the Yorks, and we don't consider that it would result in additional on-street parking pressure as stated before. So in terms of energy and sustainability, it would achieve a 123% carbon reduction against the building regulation standards with regards to energy efficiency. This would be achieved through sustainable design features such as inclusion of solar panels for energy generation and air source heat pumps for the heating. These are just some of the photos of the site. So the first image shows the site itself in the background as viewed from the junction of the Yorks with Thai Green Village. And the second image shows the view inside the site towards the rear properties on Primrose Field. This is a view of the board of the site shared with the house Japonica to the north. In terms of the design, the bungalows would have a discrete contemporary design that would preserve the character and appearance of the adjacent conservation area. It would be clad with a mix of contrasting brick, red and above brick colour, broken up with small elements of timber. There'd be a good quality soft landscaping scheme, which, as I said before, would be conditioned to get additional details. So in conclusion, officers recommend approval of the scheme.
Thank you very much. No speakers for or against on this one. So members, questions, clarification? No? No? You're happy? Yeah. Do you want to discuss it? Yes.
Yeah, the chair highlighted when he reviewed the report that instead of having it as an informative, it would be put in as a condition. So we're going to put the hours of construction works as a condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it was in the supplementary. Yeah. So we updated it. Yeah, sorry.
You know me on working hours, so yes. So
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry.
So there is on the supplementary agenda. So before, well, I don't know if have you all read that? Have you all seen it? Which details some of the changes. Anyway, so if there's no more debate, I think this is, personally, I think it's a very good scheme. It's housing that's needed for those people over 55 with perhaps slight impairment. So, yeah, let's go. So, been no other comments. Go to vote, which is recommendation is on page 93. The recommendation is to grant planning permission, and that will include new clauses 17, 18 and 19. 17, clause 17, which is the planning for plans, become 20. So they're only minor alterations. So if you haven't seen them, so that's what you're voting for, all right? You voted against. Okay? Any clarification on that? No? So that recommendation.
To say, if we're making comments now.
No, we made our comments, but if you still want to, I said we've had our comments.
Yes, well.
We're going to the vote now.
No, I'd like to actually say something, please, Chair.
You just said.
When you spoke with the comments, what's saying, I didn't have the opportunity at that point to say anything. I'd like to say something now. And I'd like to say,
Sorry if I missed you, I didn't see you.
yeah, artistic impression is excellent, and I'm sure these bungalows will be well appreciated in the town for all the over 55s. You know, we've got a large majority of elderly people in the town, and as far as I'm concerned, it'll be well recommended, and thank you.
Okay, thank you. So right, go back to the recommendation, which is a grant planning permission, subject to and including those changes and additions, clauses, conditions 17, 18, 19, and the original clause 17, which was the plans condition, is now 20. All right, so all those in favour? Any against? That looks like to be unanimous. Thank you very much indeed. Switching up there. So the last one on the agenda, very good. So we're almost there, which is on page 105, which is land to the west of Stapleton Shopping Centre, Perry Road, Harlow, erection of 12 number residential apartments and commercial space with new hard and soft landscaping and associated parking. Doing that well,
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. Okay, so the site is located on the site that formerly is the House Medical Centre on Perry Road, which is at the junction shared with Southern Way. The St James St Luke's Church is located just to the immediate west of the site, on the other side of Perry Road, with the Stapleton Shopping Centre located beyond the pedestrian path, which is just to the immediate east of the site. This is the shopping centre here. The Stapleton Neighbourhood Service Area is located just to the south here, with the Stapleton Depot, which is an industrial site located just beyond that to the south. In terms of policy designations, the Stapleton Neighbourhood Service Areas and the depot form part of a housing allocation HS23, which in the local plan has an indicative capacity for 30 dwellings. And then further to the southwest of the site on Perry Road, the land is designated as an existing employment area. In terms of the planning history of the site, there was previous grant consent in 2018 for the demolition of the former medical centre that was on the site and the erection of a 5-storey development of 46 flats with communal community space over a podium deck, which you can see just here, and underneath it would have ground level parking. However, it was later established that due to the existence of a sewage pipe that runs across the south of the site, it would not be possible to develop the southern area, and permission was never granted as a result of that. So the proposed development now is a rationalised scheme which seeks the erection of a 4-storey building containing 12 social housing units located over the second and third floors, with approximately 1,000 square metres of office and circulation service floor space located over the ground and the first floors of the building. The remainder of the site within the south would be treated with a new landscape piazza and soft landscaping alongside the associated car parking with the development. There'll be new links made between the site and the existing cycle path to the east of the site, and also to the south to the pathway that is between Perry Road and the cycle path that I mentioned before. This is a ground floor layout which shows that there will be separate means of entrance provided for the commercial and the residential elements. So this is the commercial entrance here and the residential entrance in there. There'll be separate lift accesses available for both uses internally. The first floor will be occupied by the office space, and the second and third floors would be occupied by the residential dwellings, all of which would meet the minimum building regulation standards in terms of access, and 2 of them would be provided as wheelchair accessible units. All the units would meet the minimum floor space standards and benefit from a satisfactory light level of access to light and outlook. The third floor would replicate the layout of the second floor accommodation, so it's just a repeat of that. The car parking, as I said before, will be provided within the south of the site and divided between the residential and commercial elements, with 1 space per residential unit provided for the 12 units, residential units, and 16 spaces provided for the commercial element. This has been reviewed by Essex Highways, who raised no objections to the level of parking, just given the level of access to local amenities and bus services is considered to be an acceptable provision. There's a number of trees that would unfortunately have to be removed with the development, but that there would be a compensatory high quality soft and hard landscaping scheme proposed, provisional details of which have been agreed with the arboricultural officer. The scheme will include the creation of a piazza and the pathways that I mentioned before to improve accessibility from the Perry Road to the west and to the existing cycle path to the east. And the landscaping scheme itself will provide a very good quality of public realm, including seating areas that could be used by both occupants and employees of the commercial element of the scheme. Waste and recycling have highlighted that there are some issues with regards to the means of access into the site by some of their waste vehicles, but they consider it will still be possible to resolve the arrangement of the waste collection either with collections happening within the site or by moving the waste stores which are located in this part here, moving them to another part of the site closer to the Perry Road entrance, and they agreed that this can be resolved by way of condition. So there's going to be a revised waste collection scheme to be reviewed at condition stage. In terms of the materials, it's a good quality set of materials that are proposed, which consist of a darker brick ground floor with a black brick on the upper floors of the building. It should be articulated with the use of dark metal cladding in a vertical arrangement with recessed elements and express bays. Details of the materials again will be conditioned. So this is an image of the site viewed from Pegram's Road, just to the southwest, looking towards the southern boundary. And this is the southern boundary here, where the neighbourhood service area is, and the path just to the south of the site. This is an image of the western boundary of the site and the existing vehicular entrance. and the other picture shows the view looking up towards the northern end of the site from Perry Road. This is a view inside the site, which shows it's slightly currently treated with hard standing, and the trees, hedges surrounding the boundaries of the site. And this is a view from Southern Way, looking eastwards towards the site on Perry Road. So in summary, the development will provide 12 quality homes for social occupation, alongside quality office floor space within an accessible location. It will improve accessibility between Perry Road and the adjacent cycle path, and will introduce a high quality landscape semi-public piazza area, which will be enjoyed by the residents and users of the development as well. Officers recommend approval accordingly.
Thank you very much. Again, we've got no speakers for or against. So members, questions, clarification? Please, Councillor Clark.
Yes.
Sorry.
Well, I think it's in the report, but this piazza, I think you called it, is it basically, is that a green area? I saw there's a green roof. I'm concerned about the extent of landscaping in this area.
It's not just a green space, it's going to be a mix of hard and soft landscaping. So the actual sort of area which is referred to as the piazza is in this this section of the site, where there's going to be some areas of seating, but the applicants try to incorporate soft landscaping around the boundaries of the site as well. So there's going to be some features that are there to improve biodiversity within the site, but also to help with drainage as well. So there'll be rainwater gardens within certain areas. So the landscaping scheme's been quite well thought out, and even though unfortunately some trees have been lost, the replacement landscaping scheme and the quality of the area it's going to create for as a communal area is considered to be acceptable to mitigate the loss of the trees.
The hours of work, is it, have I missed it somewhere? Is it incorporated?
Microphone, G.
Sorry.
Microphone, G.
Yes, the hours of work condition, is that in?
That's all done.
Have I missed it?
Yes. Well,
My
it's
mistake.
supplementary.
Yeah.
Oh,
I won't be doing it again. I'll make sure that the hours of work is a condition that's put in, not informative, but yeah, it was set out in the supplementary that will be incorporated into the conditions.
Any more questions? Councillor Person.
There's a part in which will come under the amenity area where it says existing mature trees with play and fitness area at the north of the site. Can you explain a little bit if there's any more detail for that?
So, could you just repeat the question?
So there is a comment regarding mature trees with a play area and fitness area north of the site, which is up in the...
Oh, right. It is kind of a bit limited on the detail of exactly what the fitness area will be, but it will be set out in the landscaping scheme that's been conditioned, so they can give some more details on what the facilities will be, as well as just the actual hard surfacing and the soft landscaping arrangement itself. They can give some more detail about what the seating as well as any other facilities will be.
Anybody else? Questions? Councillor Davis, sorry.
Yes, Chair, can I just have clarification on what we're building here? I understand we're doing 12 residential apartments, which are social housing. I don't know if there'll be any others, but can I ask how many businesses there will be as well? Thank you.
It's 2 floors of commercial floor space, but it's not divided in terms of the units. I mean, there may be some changes to be made to the internal layout to separate the units, but at the moment it's just the floor space that's being proposed.
Okay, can I ask a question? I may have missed it in the paperwork. Play area for children. Where is the nearest park? I don't know Stoke area.
By the list of health centre at the back there.
Yes, so it'll be to the north, yeah, as Constance just said, north of the new list house,
Oh yes, no.
which is connected.
I agree.
No, not so clear.
What is actually great?
So yeah, it's great for
Where the new splash park is, yes.
Okay, if you're happy, you're telling me there's a play area there for the children. That's great. Debate? Sue? Not with hand up later. Anybody else want to comment?
I just think we should all be delighted that this science funding being used and it's an excellent excuse. So, yeah, I think we should all support it.
Yeah, I'll just make a comment. Yeah, I think it's much needed. 12 social, flats, which is good. It's in the right area, just along from Staple Ties. So I know it's not very far, so that's good. And there's bus routes. So I think all in all, I'd like to see, I'm glad it's on the corner rather than turning it the other way with car parking in the front that looks horrible. So the only other thing, I suppose, yeah, I won't worry about that because I think that's covered, yeah. So if that's no more comments, we'll go to the recommendation. Now we've got a lot of amendments here. Let's have a look. So recommendation is on page 124. Which I've lost. And the recommendation is to grant planning permission. Now, in the supplementary agenda, there's a new paragraph to the Energy and Sustainability Assessment Report, which is detailed there, so I don't think that's anything to worry about. And there's a new condition 23, which is prior to commencement of all works on the site, completed Harlow, Gilston, Garden Town sustainable checklist. Then the informative clause 4 to be deleted and replaced by a new condition 24 for control of the working hours, And new condition 25 will also be added that requires electric vehicle charging points as shown on the approved plans to be installed and operational prior to the first occupation. So that's we're waiting to approve it with those additions. All understood?
Yeah.
All those in favour? That's unanimous.